which was like a week later from the YouTube video or whatever, maybe 2 weeks. And I see the credits, and I had a buddy of mine post them, and I said, well, that's weird. It doesn't say me for mastering engineer. So I called up my buddy and I said, Will, so what's up? Like, it's not my name there. And he said,
what gives, man?
Yeah. And he says, no, that's right, apparently. I said, oh. And he says, yeah, so let me tell you. So he goes into this long story of, I guess when they hired me to do it, they hired me to do the YouTube video. And then they hired Chris Athens, another really well-known mastering engineer, to do the other version for streaming. And he, I guess, hadn't known this, and I didn't know this. And I'm not mad about it. I'm actually kind of, again, humbled. It's just like, dude, okay, so like I did a master and Chris Athens did a master, and I mean, you can look up the guy's credits. He's done like all kinds of crazy things. And I had a buddy of mine. He's like, yeah, I listened to both of them, and they're like really, really similar, and like yours holds up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, well, thanks. Like, cool. Like, I guess I'm doing something right,
Yeah.
So yeah, and Chris Athens even reached out to me. Because he saw my comment, and he said, yeah, that's actually right, and he went into the process of how incredibly common, I guess this is for label work, is they'll hire multiple people to more or less do the same exact thing. I don't know why. It seems weird. It seems counterintuitive. But, yeah, so that happened. And it was just a complete curveball. I'm like, okay. Like, I know I'm young in the game, but yeah, I'm still learning. So
yeah, that's wild. Well, first of all, you still got the mastering in for the YouTube, so
correct.
Lots of people have heard. Still, millions of people have heard that.
Yeah. So it's like 1.2 million, I think, when I sent you the song, which is it's awesome. But like the first week, less than a week on streaming, it was already over 1 million on streaming. I'm like, oof. That's awesome. Now, I don't really know how award things work. Like let's say it got nominated for a Grammy. I think I would not get a nomination because it would probably go off the streaming version.
Right. You're probably right.
Yeah. Even if I could prove the fact that I did that one, I'm almost...
That's the one that has like the ISRC code and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I just did the video, and it's like, oh man, you mean to tell me if something like that would happen? Like, first off, that'd be crazy, and kudos to Zandman if, I hope that would happen to him. That's, I wish everyone I work with as much success as they can possibly get. That's what I want from people. And,
right.
It's not about recognition even for me. Like, even if I didn't get it, that would still be awesome for him. It would be awesome for Chris Athens, saying he would probably more than likely get a nomination as well, depending on what it was nominated for category-wise. But at the same time, there'd be a little part of me that's like, I was this close.
Yeah.
It's like this close.
If you keep at it, eventually something will happen.
Yeah, possibly.
Those who persist succeed. There was a guy. There was a guest on the show, Edward Cord. He was like one of the first episodes. He's from Germany, and he mixed a song, and that ended up going to another mixer, the guy that mixed the Billie Eilish record. I'm blanking on his name at the moment. So basically, he lost the mix to the guy that mixed Billie Eilish, and he said he listened back to the record, and they sounded the mixes sounded like so similar. They were like almost the same mix.
Yeah.
So on one hand, it sucks. But on the other hand, it's like, oh, I'm in the right direction. I'm like doing something right.
Yeah. You're not far from where, like, it wasn't a lack of taste or skill.
Yeah. Right.
Well, yeah, it wasn't a lack of skill. It was more of a taste thing. And I tell people this too when I work with them, and it's a big reason I don't advertise test masters like I used to. And the biggest reason is, you'll get a lot of tire kickers, but you'll also get people that, like, if I'm going to work with you and we've never worked together, I want to sit down, I want to have a phone call with you. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know your projects, even see if we would, work out and be a good fit for each other. And then from there, I want to have an open channel of communication and say, hey, if you think the master is too bright or not bright enough or not loud enough, let me know. It's a super easy fix. We can get it to where you want it. Whereas if I'm doing a test master, it might have only have taken another half dB of treble or mid-range for someone to be like, this is perfect. But if they don't have anything on the line or an open line of communication there, they may just say, it's not quite what I'm looking for, and then they may just go somewhere else. So I like to be more engaged with people, more open and honest when I can be.
Can you just quickly talk about your, how you communicate with artists? I'm sure you're doing a lot of the stuff like we all are these days remotely, and so I guess mastering engineers have always really done things remotely. How do you stay in touch with your clients and stay on top of communication?
I mean, a lot of it's just being super active online. I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups. I pipe up when I can. If I see someone, I used to pipe up when it was like, recommend me a microphone, but then 150 people have commented already, and it's either the Slate VMS or the Rode NT1 or something. So it's like, okay, whatever. But if it's something else, like maybe a question about loudness, how loud should something be for streaming? Do I need multiple masters for different services? Or something like that. It's like, hey, let me answer this for you. Or maybe I already wrote a blog post about it, and I'll, direct them that way. A lot of times I'm not trying to play salesman and sell people on me. It's not like, you should hire somebody for this, you should hire me. That just doesn't ever work, I find. Not for myself. And I know when I'm trying to buy something as well, like if someone's being overly pushy, I'm not going to want to give them, I'm not going to want to hire them. Now, if someone is being very open with the information and incredibly helpful, that's somebody I want to work with. So knowing that those are the kind of people I want to work with, that's how I want to be with everyone else that I engage with. I want to be open with information, help them with whatever it is, even if it's just, hey, can someone listen to this mix? Sure, man, shoot it my way, and I'll have them send it to my email, which they can tell by my email, Steelhouse Mastering. That's what I do. I master. And I'll give them feedback, and whatever it may be. And it's like, hey, this sounds awesome. Maybe just do this and this, and I think it'd be perfect. And kind of just end the email with either, if I can be of assistance with anything else for you, let me know. Or sometimes I've said, if you're looking for someone to master it, I'd love to talk to you about that. But I leave it at that. I'm not. I'm not. You
don't push it too hard.
Yeah, I'm not trying to push anything. I'm going to just be, I don't like pushy salesmen.
Yeah, you get, you're giving, you help people out, and eventually it comes back. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what a lot of people that have started working with me, a lot of it's been through Facebook. They'll hit me up out of the blue, say, hey dude, I love all the posts you do, or I love what you post in this group, or I see you helping out others. I got a song to master, we should talk about it. And, you go from there. And it's like, those are the kind of customers, I hate to say customer, those are the kind of people that are not like temporary. Like, there's someone that's invested in you already. There's someone that is more than likely going to keep coming back because they like who you are already. Before they even they've probably heard your work before. I know I've had people that's like, I've heard your stuff before, I really like it, let's work. But, I think that goes a long ways. I always tell people, if you want to be successful in really any business, not just music, you have to be a good hang. You got to be a cool person that people like, and you're not fake. I think that's some of the most important things with running a business. It's just being that kind of person. Be a good person, and it'll return to you.
Love it. That's a great takeaway for the audience, for no matter what you're doing in this industry, is be a good person, give to people, and if you do good work and you keep doing it, keep it on, eventually
keep it on. Yes.
Yeah, something will stick.
Yes.
Just in terms of like communication with the artists that you're working with, like, do you like usually jump on a Zoom or something before you get into the mastering, or do you just kind of just take it from the email and get into it? See if there's feedback.
It depends. I've done things through email. Email to me is always kind of impersonal, because I mean, it's almost like mailing a letter to somebody. You know, it's like, okay, you write this, and you may wait hours to get a response, and then depending on the time it is, you know, time zones. You work with people all over the globe, like
Sure.
us, for example. It's late at night for you, and it's midday for me. So yeah, I kind of don't like doing email unless it's a revision or something like that. So it'll either be Facebook Messenger, which, you know, is pretty much instant. You can just chat through there. And then if it's somebody, again, that has never worked with me before, I'll ask them. I say, hey, dude, or, you know, is it cool that we set up a phone call? Can we just, like, talk? And, you know, I've had everything from, like, 5-minute conversations to people, you know, it's like, oh, okay, that's what it's about. Okay, yeah, you know, get on with it. To, like, over an hour. And it's like, you know, you just learn about each other and, you know, build that relationship. Again, I think that's super important. And it gives it makes it seem less of a business transaction and more of a relationship.
Yeah. And that's important.
Which is, again, how I want to run things. I don't want to run things. I have to run things as a business because that's what I am. But I want to treat everyone I work with in more of like a relationship type deal where it's like, I'm not after your money. I want to help you get this where you want it to be.
Yeah. I guess one of my final questions for you, and I think you just answered it, was going to be, you know, what was something that you wish you knew at the beginning of your journey that you know now, or something that you've been doing right the whole time? It sounds like doing the interpersonal communication.
Yeah, interpersonal
thing,
communication. Sort of piggyback on that, networking. You know, when I very first started this out, if I would have known I need to network from the very beginning, that would have helped immensely. And I see people in this game all the time that's like, you know, I want to run a music studio, but, you know, I'm kind of like a hermit or a recluse. And it's like, dude, like, if you can't communicate with people, like, how? Like, you can be an awesome engineer, but if you can't communicate what you need to communicate with artists, with producers, it's difficult. It's very difficult. A lot of people want somebody that's going to be easy to talk to, somebody that's going to understand where they're coming from in a project, you know, someone they know they can get a hold of easily if they need to as well. It's networking and interpersonal communication are so key to success in this business.
Right. Yeah, there's like a saying that like nobody does anything great by themselves, and it applies to this also. Like, you know, you need a team around you, and you need to be a part of a team in order to make great stuff. Yeah,
we're all in this together. We will not get to where we want to be alone. It's not in a music field. You have to do this as a team.
Yeah, I'm slowly learning that lesson over and over again.
Yeah.
Like I my first record, I just like, okay, I'm just doing this all by myself. I'm playing bass. I mean, I brought in friends to do music, but I was like, I got to do all the recording, all the mixing. I sent out for mastering, whatever.
It's
incredible. I made so many mistakes.
Right, and it's incredible what you can just learn from other people too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, let's say you needed a bass player for a song that you were working on, and you're like, I'm not going to play the bass. I'm going to hire somebody. And you bring in this monster bass player, and they just completely transform the groove of the song. It's like, wow, I didn't see that coming. Like, this is going to completely redefine this whole track. And then, you know, that shapes you as a musician, because it's like maybe it gives you an idea to do something different on maybe keyboard or something that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise.
Absolutely. Yeah, music has always been like a communal thing, and you know, the synergy of different artists or different musicians together in a room makes something better than the sum of its parts. And you know, two heads kind of whatever. I'm spewing a bunch of different examples, but
no, absolutely.
But this is what music's all about. It's always been about, you know, doing things with other people. It's funny because like I got into production because for the first time in my life I didn't have other people to play with. Mm-hmm. I started like, you know, for the first time I didn't have a band, and when I moved to Israel like 11 years ago, And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to open up GarageBand and see what happens.
Right.
And then I kind of pigeonholed myself in this, like, I'm just doing this thing by myself on the computer. And then, like, slowly you realize, like, there's other people out there. I talked about this a bunch of times on the podcast. Like, I went to